back to my YouTube channel. I hope that you have been enjoying the video so far. My name is Nkechi Manolayode. I am the Woman Distinctiveness Teacher and I am a certified counselor, a writer. At the end of this video, I'll let you know how I can help you specifically. Today's topic is a little bit sober. I am going to be drawing out some lessons that we can learn from the MARYAM Sanda's case. You can Google MARYAM Sanda if you do not know about the case. Briefly, this woman was accused in 2017 of allegedly committing, killing her husband or committing murder in the early hours of the morning. And she has been on trial since 2017, and she was tried, recently. This is what I say recently. At this time, 2020, January 2020, she was tried to hang, to die by hanging, and there have been a lot of controversy, there have been a lot of topic, there have been a lot of comments. So I'm not even here to comment, because this is why. Number one, as a counselor, I really like to know the story from both sides, and as a trained counselor, that is really what we're supposed to do. So definitely the law has taken, its decision. The law has taken its decision. The law has taken its decision. I'm not here to debate what the law is doing or what the law is not doing. But then I'm the kind of person that likes to know the story from the beginning. So if I was to, I would have preferred, to have a full extensive interview with MARYAM Sanda to know what happened, lessons we can learn, what started it, because whatever it is that happened that night in 2017 definitely did not start that night. That one is for sure. So that, we can just learn and see what happened all through the case. And, for our husband, our husband is dead already. We can't get to know, his own side of the story. But that's not what I'm here. If you want to read up on the story, follow up on the story, you can Google it and then you will get information. But I'm really here to draw out lessons, because these things, why am I jumping on this case to teach us lessons? These things happen all the time. It's just that some cases come up to the limelight, some cases come up to the media space, and then we're able to talk more about it. There's different engagement on it, but these are the things that are happening both in Nigeria, West Africa, even abroad. In fact, there is a channel dedicated abroad, I believe US, to, and maybe not only US, but I know of US, to crime, to let you know that. And this is not something that started yesterday, and it's not even something that unfortunately will necessarily end with MARYAM Sanda. But as a counselor and as a women distinctiveness teacher, I can do my part to teach so that we can learn, do better, and in the future not be the one to fall victim of that particular fall victim of that particular circumstance. So what are the things that I want to teach us today? What lessons can we learn? Lesson number one. In fact, counseling recently and talking with people recently has also taught me a lot of stuff that I am so happy to bring to you. But one thing I want to start with, the first lesson I'll be starting with is value system. You see, people, ladies especially, because this is what my channel is dedicated to, ladies especially still, some, not all, I want to believe that a lot of ladies are, beginning to learn better, but some ladies are still in the euphoria of this marriage and relationship thing, and they have this desire and they have this daydreaming about marriage, what a relationship will look like, and so on and so forth, beyond, and they thinking that they are entering into the idea of a relationship and not remembering that entering into a relationship is actually the both of you is actually, it's a relationship is actually determined by what the both of you are carrying. What are the both of you carrying? And I'm talking about value system right now. What is the value system of that person? You know, we need to start looking beyond he called me, he did not call me, he asked me out, he pecked me, he kissed lovely. You know, all those things that people think are the things that would make a relationship and marriage last, they are not. The value system of the person, who is the person? And I'm also going to jump on this, although I'll create a different, you know, video for that entirely later on. But beyond the person's title, you know, beyond the person's degrees, beyond the person's accolade, beyond the person's social media following, beyond the person's accomplishment, who is the person? What is this person's value system? If you do not begin to pay attention to these things, these are the things that may look like, oh, I did not know. Well, you knew, or you had the opportunity to know, but you didn't pay attention to it. You probably paid attention to wedding. If it's not fairy tale wedding, some people are paying attention to, they're paying attention to the idea of love, or they're paying attention to that person paying attention to their own emotional needs, and they miss the whole point. The value system of a person, and in this day and age, is unfortunately getting degraded. And when value system of a people or of the average person in your country or in the world is getting degraded, then you should know that the time, expectations, and the work that's going to put into relationship and marriage in this day and age is going to be more. And that is, value system is one reason why, you know, it seems that in our parent days, marriage worked despite they didn't have, you know, all these courses, books, all those things. It seemed that marriage worked for them, in a way. I mean, so not all of them had a great marriage, but most of them had great value systems that at least they chose to keep to. And you know, their marriages worked for them. And then we're wondering, oh, why is it that we all the things, some people will even travel out of their country to go and seek a marriage, you know, just whether it's marriage seminar, whatever the case may be, yet it looks like, you know, it still crashes, or it's not working, or you sit down and binge watch on YouTube. It starts with the value system. You can know all the rights and wrongs, you can know all the do's and don'ts of a marriage. You can know take care of him, you can know all those right things to do. Smile to your wife, smile to your husband, or smile to your girlfriend, smile, call her, call him, text her. But those are not the things that ultimately going to keep the relationship or the marriage. Is it the value system? Does the person lie? What does the person think about certain things? Does the person behave like a scam? What are the things that are wrong that the person has taken as normal, that the person has brushed up as normal, even though you know it was wrong? When the person has done wrong things, you know, because I mean, some people will make mistake. I'm not saying when somebody has a value system, they will not make mistake at a certain time. But did the person acknowledge that it was a mistake? Did the person acknowledge that, you know what, I'm sorry, this is wrong? Or the person just kept on like, who was there? Everybody is doing it. Is that the kind of partner you have? And you say, don't worry, it will change. If you are in a relationship and this is happening with you, this is your time to open your eyes and take 3 steps backward to actually introspect and be sure of what you are doing. Now, there are some people, when you bring this to their attention, they are going to want to change. They are going to be sorry and they're going to want to change. But if you are seeing a person, or if you are dating a person that is constantly taking the norms and the wrongs of the world as normal and brushing things off, like asking you for sex before marriage, for instance, and wondering what's wrong with you, that you are not bulging. After all, you are a single mother, you've had it before, so what's the big deal? Or whatever the case may be, or wanting to take you to places that really would not add any value to your life tomorrow, all in the name of entertainment, and is wondering what's the big deal. Or wants you to drink certain kind of drink. I mean, the list is endless. Or wants you to lie, or wants you to be fraudulent, and you are looking at it normally. It's going to escalate in marriage. And so when people get into marriage and they are seeing very funny characters, they are wondering, I don't know, or maybe their husband stole in the organization where he works, or the husband is cheating on them. I mean, so you may say, he not cheat on you when you were single, but what of the other things that he was doing? He was already letting you know that. I mean, once one person begins to act funny in a certain area, unrepentant, like I said, people can make mistakes and repent, but unrepentant, the person begins, what's the big deal? You can be rest assured that soon, the person is going to transfer that behavior to the other area of their life. So what is the value system of the person you are currently in a relationship with? The next thing I'm going to talk about is yourself. I'm going to talk about 3 major points concerning this MARYAM SANDA case and what we can learn generally. I mean, I do not know the whole story, like I said, but what I have learned from the story, you know, these are points that I can pick from, like a general story on what another couple can do to get a better outcome. Because in the end, we're not just supposed to jump on these stories and be making a fun of it and be jumping and laughing or just trying to gossip with it, but we're supposed to learn, and that is what we're doing. Point number 2 is, who are you? Who are you? What is your own value system? Who are you? A lot of people, this is not even ladies, including ladies and men, but this one I'm talking specifically to ladies now. We've spoken about the men in the first point. They think that, oh, I'm ready for marriage, and you know, I'm just ready, I'm ready, after all, I'm 35, I'm ready. And you don't even know yourself that well. There are some things that for some people you are being protected, protected, you know, to not go and kill your husband in the marriage because of some certain character that you have now that you need to work on. You know, for some of you, and you know, for, you know, even for the guy, vice versa, because of a level of anger that you have now that you have not dealt with. Who are you? What are the things that you know that it's still a challenge for you? You know that you need to deal with it. For example, anger. Are you a manager in an organization and you're just shouting and raining down curses on those that work with you? Who are you? What are some of those your weaknesses? For example, let's use anger for instance. Or what is your habit? Are you a selfish person? Are you a selfish person so that you think that, you know, selfish people, that one is another class, you know, when it comes to marriage, because you have to unlearn it. But if you do not begin to take that conscious step to unlearn it before you get into marriage, it doesn't mean that your marriage cannot work, but there will be some turbulence before you straighten out, and that is if you even decide that you want to work on that thing. So who are you? A lot of people think, oh, I'm all right, I'm good, everything is all right with me. Why has Mr. Right not come? And then you can never stop working on yourself, is what I'm trying to say. For some of you, you need to work on this anger. For some of you, it's giving. For some of you, it's desperation. For some of you, it's impatience. You think, oh, you are just waiting for a certain guy, or you feel that desperation only comes because when it comes to the area of the guy in your life, it's not a big deal. Whereas desperation is knocking in other areas of your life. Maybe under that desperation is comparison, hot one, that you need to sit down and deal with and be at peace to actually be a better partner in this world. So getting to know yourself well, and this is why I thank God for the counseling industry rising in Nigeria. And I help a lot. I specialize in self-discovery, pre-marriage and remarriage. You know, get to a professional counselor, do assessment, do tests. Check out yourself. Who am I? You know, what do I, you know, what are some of the things, what are some of the shadows that I think that I have overcome, but they are still haunting me and they are waiting for me in my future. For some, it's even lost. It's even lost. You've not seen your ex for 5 years. You think you are over him. Then he just passes one. And you know, it's just funny. It's that day that you're married, 1 week after you're married, the person will just pass. And that's why you'll be wondering, you know, oh, I thought I was over that person. You thought, you didn't work on it. And you see, and you hear, oh, women cheat and all that. So these are the kind of dramas that, you know, when people do not introspect and they are not patient enough to work on themselves, these things begin to pop up and begin to pop out. So who are you before you say I do? Who are you? And even if you're in the early part of your marriage and you still want the best out of the marriage, you can begin to work on these things. Send me an email, book a session And if you have a counselor already around you, book a session with that person. Begin to take these things seriously. Yes, it's good to entertain yourself, but sometimes if you need to save all your entertainment money for whatever shows you're going to pay excessively for, save it for yourself introspection. If the amount of people that are busy entertaining themselves or doing other things that they think are important, invest in actually developing themselves, we would see a better world, a better value system, a better marriage, and a better family and a better nation. The third and the final point that I want to make for this points from the lessons that we can learn from the MARYAM SANDA's case is, if you can't love your neighbor and forgive your enemies, you can't thrive in marriage. I will say that again. If you can't love your neighbor and forgive your enemies, you can't thrive in marriage. This is a very important point, because we're in a generation where people are like they use all form of swear words to, and in the quotes, there's just a lot of, you may know, but there's a lot of drama of don't care what people say, push them aside, blah blah blah. It's just around, block them, don't block them, push them, don't push them, sweep them, don't sweep them, all manner of things when it comes to people. And people are not even sitting down to think that these enemies, what can I learn from them? Who can they even help me to become in a higher way, not in a lower standard? Patience. Some of these things that enemies in quotes can teach you is patience, the practice of loving your enemies, the practice of being with people, of learning from people that don't necessarily are in your circle and all that, but the practice of learning how to love everyone regardless, not even those that are greeting you, celebrating you, honoring you and all that. And so this is a different case from having critics in your lives and them choking you all in the name of love your enemies. That's not what I'm trying to say, please. So there are certain people in your life, they're just going to wash you down, weigh you down, and they will squeeze life out of you. That is a different case entirely. And we're not saying, now bring them in, just bring them to sit in your life. But I'm talking about, there are certain scenarios in our lives that we have people that oppose us, and we can use it as an opportunity to learn. There are different scenarios of people that will always oppose us. It's very important that we are discerning to know what to do with whatever situation that we find ourselves with, people opposing us or enemies. So, it has turned into, the world has turned it into the place where you can't even have patience, you can't even love your enemies anymore. It's kind of like, I do you, I do me back. If you talk to me, I come out, I blast you. And there's just this drama going around. And it is called drama because it's just like a show. You are allowing more people wonder who you are, and more people watch things that do not edify, and you are just allowing things that doesn't just necessarily make sense, all in the name of not following the simple principle. And that is what is killing the value system in our country today. A lot of people think, it's drama. When you die, is it drama people are going to remember, or is it what you did or who you are, especially who you were? These are the things we should think about. So it's important to remember that the principle of loving your neighbors and forgiving your enemies is still something that we as individuals, you don't need to, this message is for this particular point of, you want to get married, you don't want to get married, know it, practice it. If you practice it, if you know it, if you walk in it, if you strive to grow in loving your neighbors, forgiving your enemies, there's nothing that a spouse wants to do to you in the marriage that will warrant it. There is nothing, whether it's a man or a female, this is not exclusive to just female, whether it's a man or a woman, there is nothing that's going to warrant it. But you see, this personal value principles and growth, basically growth precepts that we're supposed to imbibe and begin to use to grow in our lives and practice it with those around us in our environments, are unfortunately thrown away. And then people are running after the romantic part of relationship, the fancier part of relationship, you name it, all the parts that are acted in the Indian series and the Mexican series and the Hollywood and Nollywood series or movies. and then you are seeing that it's not bringing any result. So does it make sense to keep doing the same thing when it's not producing any result? I mean, if marriages are failing in this day and age, shouldn't we all sit down to, think about what we are thinking about, even measure it with, past marriages of our moms and dads, and especially the ones that worked? And when you sit down and it comes down to it all, what do we see? We see these three things that I've spoken about: value system, paying attention to value system in the other person, value system in yourself, and the principle of life, loving your neighbors, forgiving your enemies. When you do this, it is simple for you to thrive in not just any marital relationship, whether it's a corporate relationship, whether it's a national relationship, business relationship. You can thrive in life, and most importantly, you can have peace, because peace is one of the most important things that you must have in a relationship or marriage. I help and I counsel women and couples every other day of the week, and you can book a session with me by following me, sending me a DM, or just sending an email of whatever it is you want to talk about. I focus on self-discovery, pre-marriage, and remarriage. I focus on these things. I mean, I teach a lot of other things, but everything that I teach is really connected to these things: purpose, comparison, all those other topics that I teach on and I talk on are really tied to self-discovery. And even without you fully discovering yourself and coming to the fullness of you, you can never really have a great marriage, because it takes two solid people and two quality people to have a wonderful, fantastic marriage of bliss. I hope that I can be of help to you. I believe I can. I hope that you reach out to me when you believe it's time, or you refer me to somebody that this will be of help to. My name is Nkechi Monelayode, and I will see you in my next video. Please do subscribe, share your comments as well. Maybe some things, add, you can add to the points. Of course, this is a community we're building. Add to the points, share your knowledge. Let all of us in our tribe and in our community also learn from you as well. Have a wonderful day ahead. Bye.